Hello everyone, thank you for joining this edition of Paris Craze. This is another project with a handbag. I know I've been MIA for a while. I've been mainly working on my other artistic projects such as painting. So here I bring you a new project with this Gucci bag. Possibly, it's hard to say how old it is. I mean, it could be late 70s, it could be early 80s, it's hard to tell. But as you know, in my videos, I kind of present to you the issues that the bag has. In this particular case, as you can see, this is kind of an unusual design. It's what I would venture to describe as an accordion design. So some of the main common issues are lots of wear on the piping, some stitching that has come undone in the corners here, some issues with the lining, especially in this area where it's just come off. I'm not exactly sure how it was attached. Mostly is still under the stitching here, here, and here. So this is 3 compartments. This design allows for the bag to have those 3 compartments, which makes it very challenging in doing things like replacing the piping. As you can see, there's lots of wear here. How would you do that? You would have to undo the whole bag. It would be very difficult to turn it over. I haven't really spent some time figuring out how it is that this bag was made to even begin to think about how I would reverse that. So there are some decisions to be made. I don't believe that it's ideal to replace the piping because of that reason. So that leaves me with continuing to do something about the stitching here on the edges, fix the lining situation in this area, and maybe do some regluing, and also treat the leather surface. That's going to be very important in this particular case. I think those things would make a huge difference in the future life of this bag, at least the extended life of this bag. As is, it would probably be stashed in some closet for years and years and years until it probably makes it to the landfill. So as you know, I like to save things from being disposed of, and you know, I mean, vintage is always desirable, is always unique. So that's the reason why we're here. So thank you for joining this video. Let's get started. At this stage, what I would like to do is use some soapy water. This is a very light dishwashing liquid that is clear and very soft bristles on a brush. And I'm going to start brushing the entire surface. I usually like to have just a piece of cloth handy so that I can lift the lather and it doesn't get, you know, wet or stay wet for a long time. So let's get started. I like to do the canvas first, and I like to work by sections just so that I know what I'm going over and I'm not missing any areas. There doesn't seem to be too much soil and grime on this surface, but I will keep going throughout the whole thing. So I went ahead and used a traditional needle and thread to replace the stitching on most of the corners. Most of them had some loss in them. Then I used the clear edge coat throughout the whole entire edges of the top, and then I used the conditioning solution to treat the leather. So it really has made a huge difference. After the cleaning that I did with the soapy water, this also became very shiny, so it looks nice. As you can see, there's still some color variation, but I don't think it's too bad. I think definitely the look of this bag has improved. So these are the products that I used on the last few steps: the edge coat to treat the edges of the bag, and the mink oil, which will darken leather. It was just, I thought, a good way to preserve, soften the leather, and also darken it. So my goal was to even it out as much as possible. Again, thank you so much for joining this edition of Paris Grace. We shall see you next time.